The White House says that the president has not transferred power to Vice President Mike Pence. The president is still in charge. This afternoon, the president's physician reported that he was fatigued but in good spirits and received a REGENERON antibody cocktail developed to treat that disease, to lessen the symptoms in the early days of infection. Sources tell NBC News the president has a low-grade fever and has for much of the day. The White House calling the president's symptoms mild. Then later in the afternoon, his senior economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, telling Fox News Channel that his condition is moderate. NBC News White House correspondent Peter Alexander reports that Vice President Mike Pence will remain in the Naval Observatory throughout the day. That's the vice president's residence there. Insiders say that yesterday the president seemed tired and had a raspy voice. CDC guidelines indicate every COVID-positive patient should isolate for at least 10 days. The news of the president and First Lady testing positive came in the 1 a.m. Eastern hour overnight last night. 5 hours earlier, Bloomberg News first reported that his close advisor, Hope Hicks, tested positive. So we learned last night, but she learned on Wednesday. A group of White House officials got word then that Hope Hicks had tested positive and the president had been around her repeatedly. Yet, he traveled to a fundraiser in New Jersey after. The president did not wear a mask at the events at his golf course in Bedminster or on the plane to and from there. So where did all this begin? Who was the super spreader? The truth is we do not know definitively, but we do have these facts. Around noon today, the Republican Senator Mike Lee of Utah announced he tested positive. Now, look at this video. See on the right of your screen? This is from Saturday, 6 days ago at the Supreme Court nominee announcement. This was in Washington, and you can see, without a mask, hugging multiple people, shaking hands at the White House. All of this activity goes against the CDC guidelines. We know another person who was there also tested positive, the president of Notre Dame University, the University of Notre Dame. See that picture there? This is now the nominee herself, Judge Amy Coney Barrett. Today, she tested negative. But new today, Judge Amy Coney Barrett already had the virus. 3 officials confirmed to the New York Times that it was back in the summer that the judge has since recovered. She has tested for COVID-19 today, and Judge Amy Coney Barrett tested negative for COVID-19 now. There is no evidence yet of further spread among officials in the White House in the president's immediate orbit. But one journalist and one White House staffer who worked with journalists tested positive today, according to the White House Press Association. Now, we don't know who that journalist or the staffer are, but the vice president and Karen Pence have tested, and they are negative. The president's election opponent, the former VP, and his wife, Dr. Jill Biden, have also tested negative. In addition, Vice President Biden's running mate in the upcoming election, Kamala Harris, has also tested negative. Testing and tracing is happening now with members of the president's inner circle. Now, think of this. The president made a number of moves after he had been around Hope Hicks, who tested negative. The question is, when did the transmission of the virus happen? Well, we now have reporting to indicate that both the president and the former Vice President Joe Biden were indeed tested prior to the debate, which happened on Tuesday night. Chris Wallace was there, and he said that members of the president's family did not wear masks on that occasion. But there's nothing to indicate that others who were at that event have tested positive aside from the First Lady. You have to go back to that Saturday event at the White House with all of the hugging and the no wearing of the mask that does raise concerns and questions about whether that virus could have been spreading in that event. Think of it. The people who were there, the president was there, he's now negative for COVID-19. The First Lady was there, she's positive for COVID-19. Both of them are positive. In addition, the president of the University of Notre Dame tested positive. Mike Lee, whom you just saw in that video, the Republican senator from the state of Utah, tested positive. So whether there was a super spreader event that happened on Saturday, we cannot know definitively, but those facts exist. Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.